The next thing there you see is NCAA recruiting timeline misconceptions, and this is one that has some kind of recent turmoil behind it, let's say, or some recent legislation behind it, which is there were changes recently to the NCAA college recruiting calendar, and they've kind of changed some of the conceptions about direct coach communication and everything else. And so the misconception is that for the class of 2021 and younger, so rising juniors and current sophomores and younger, they say, I can't talk to college coaches at all until September 1st of my junior year. And then another thing that we hear a lot because of this is, therefore, there's no point in me showcasing for college coaches until fall of my junior year so that I can talk to them. This is a misconception. We've certainly been in this high academic recruiting space before and after this legislation, and have put a lot of work and research and thought and writing into this. But the realities of the NCAA recruiting, parts of the NCAA recruiting calendar certainly did change. We don't want to undersell that. The class of 2020, rising seniors, are fully eligible to have in-person recruiting specific conversations directly with college coaches from now until they're committed, till they sign their NLI or are admitted to a school, whatever the case may be. After September 1st of your junior year, you can have any conversation you wish with a college coach. The change came for those student athletes that are on the other side of September 1st of their junior year. So the class of 2021 and younger in this year. They cannot have these quote unquote recruiting specific conversations with college coaches, but they can have direct contact and face-to-face conversations with coaches at honor roll, as long as these conversations are not recruiting specific in their nature. Now, this is where kind of some of the gray area comes in, and some of the issues of kind of interpretation. Different schools, different compliance offices, different coaches have different interpretations of what recruiting specific means. But the basic of it, the short and quick of it, is that you cannot talk with a college coach about your specific admission or your specific scholarship and opportunities at that softball program. That's a pretty limited window in terms of what you cannot talk about. It leaves open a whole host of other conversations that you are able to have to advance your recruiting. And one thing that we do a lot at camp is, how do you make these introductions? How do you kind of segue into some of these conversations?
We've been running high academic camps for 21 years, right? What I've heard and what I've found is, at least from the 5 years I've been doing this in the countless camps, because I was here before and after, and hearing it from Brendan, who started this, is that nothing has really changed very much for the underclassmen. At a high academic school, they're not going to make an offer to you, right, at that age. That's the whole point of why these things exist. This is not a 7th grader getting an offer to a school. That never really happened. This doesn't happen in the academic schools. So the point of this is that college coaches really need to get to know you and really need to have you on the radar, and that's what this does. So the rules specifically aren't going to have much of an effect. But if I told you that, yeah, most of the schools that come to our events, the first time they ever saw these kids were as rising seniors, it's not necessarily the case, and it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier for these kids that do come a little bit younger.